So we're gonna do a salmon curry. So I need a little bit of oil in my pot. About a tablespoon of oil. So pop that on the heat, and then I'll put my spices in. Cardamom pods, I'm gonna need about 8 to 10 cardamom pods. And cardamom pods are really floral, so don't put too many of them in, otherwise your curry will end up tasting like potpourri. Coriander seed, I want about 1.5 teaspoons of whole coriander seed. And then cloves, again, cloves are really, really floral and really pungent, so I only want about 4 to 5 cloves. Again, or it'll end up tasting just too floral. Cinnamon sticks or quills, I'm gonna use both of those. And then I've got all my soft spices, so we're gonna wait a little bit for those. So I'm gonna toast these off. While I'm toasting those off, I can start preparing my fish. So for a curry, I'm gonna use the tail portion of the fish. Normally for a curry, you wanna use the leftover pieces. Because it's a curry, it doesn't really matter that much. So it's normally the tail or the fins, or by fins what I guess I mean is the little dregs around the outside that you're going to use. So I want to take my skin off this. So just come in at the back of the tail, grab hold of the skin, and then use the skin sort of to work back and forth. So you take your skin off, do that, and then I'm going to dice this up. Just a rough chop. You want sort of bite-sized pieces to go into our curry. And I would say try and make them uniform, because then you're not going to overcook some pieces and undercook others. By the time we get our fish into our curry, it's going to be at such a gentle simmer. It's not really going to matter that much. We're not going to overcook it. And salmon is quite forgiving. There's quite a lot of fat in salmon in between the muscle, so it's quite forgiving. It's not going to dry out too much. So they're starting to toast. You can see they're smoking a little bit, starting to toast, starting to pop. That's what we want. So they're done as much as I want them to be done. So now my soft spices can go in. So I've got some cumin and coriander that's been ground and paprika. Pop that in. Same thing, you want to cook that off. You don't want raw spices, you want them to be cooked. An onion. An onion that I want to slice. And pop in. And then some ginger and some garlic. So I've got about a 2 centimetre knob of ginger and about 3 garlic cloves. We'll pop those in as well. So normally you would add tomato paste to a curry. Because we're doing a delicate fish curry, de-seeded and diced tomatoes, 2 of them go in there, just to make sure that the sauce isn't overpowering for the fish. This is the smell. My sinuses are being cleared, my nose is running a little bit. That's what you should get when you're making a curry. You should have all of that aromatic flavour in the air. So I've just added those tomatoes in, the garlic, the ginger is in there, the onion's in there, all the hard spices, all the soft spices. Now I've got some fish stock. About a cup. And some coconut cream, about a cup. Pinch of salt. Now I want to let that reduce a little bit. At this point, I've got to get the curry sauce right because I'm going to have no extra cooking time once my fish goes in. So I want to taste at this point and see if I need anything. Salt. The things that I need are the things that I've got left, so that's great. I need some acid, so I've got lemon here, some lemon juice, and then it needs some freshness, and that's going to come from my herbs. So my coriander stalks, which are these ones. I'm gonna chop those and pop them in now, and I'm gonna finish with the coriander leaves right at the end. Now the more this comes down, so the more this reduces, the more intense the flavour is going to be. Everyone at home yelling at the TV screen saying that I haven't washed my spoon. Remember, this is my dinner. I'm gonna eat it so I can double dip. Oh, that's better. The lemon juice makes a huge difference. Coriander stalks. At the moment, and like with all curries, it's really, really harsh in the beginning. So the longer it cooks, the more it softens. All the spices are really harsh. They've just been toasted, so they're quite intense and full on. The more that cooks and the more it comes down, the more it's going to soften. So now I just need to get it to the consistency that I want before I add in my fish. So that's going to take probably anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes. That consistency and flavour is pretty much where I want it to be, so I can add my fish now. Okay, turn that heat off, and that'll allow that fish just to poach through gently. And let that sit for a couple of minutes, probably 2 minutes, and then we're done. Now, it is the kind of curry that you can serve with rice if you want to, but it's not specifically designed to be served with rice. Because it's a fish curry, it's a lot lighter, the sauce isn't as thick, it isn't like a gravy, it's a lot thinner. I would have it with something like a naan bread or a chapati or just some sourdough, which is going to soak up that sauce more so than a gravy would sit in rice.